Paranormal Room.
Have you ever encountered something you couldn't explain?
Ghosts, were they strangers or were they family?
Cryptids, alien encounters.
Strange animal encounters, child spirits.
Whatever your experience, we want to hear about it.
Email your story to WLTK-DBParanormalRoom@gmail.com for your chance to share your story on the show. Again, that's WLTK-DBParanormalRoom@gmail.com.
We're waiting for your story.
Hey Logan, how you doing tonight?
Doing well. It's spooky season. It's the spooky night, and I've just gotten back from a walk around the neighborhood once everything has quieted down. So
Nice.
It is going very well.
Nice. So, hey, everybody, welcome to the Paranormal Room. We are your hosts, Christina Bloom and Logan Jacobson, and we are playing live on WLTK-DB.com. Let's Talk Radio. You can also find us on YouTube and Facebook at WLTK-DB Talk Radio. So tonight, hey, Robin. Robin says, hi, Logan. Are you in the chat, Logan?
Oh, there we go. Hello, Robin. How goes?
It's been, it was a kind of a crazy show just a few minutes ago. So welcome everyone who is listening and who may or may not be able to get in. By the way, if you want to join the chat, you can listen to us on YouTube at youtube.com/WLTK-DB, or you can listen to, you can join in the chat there. Or you can go to the WLTK-DB Talk Radio Facebook page, not the group page, but the Facebook page. And you should be able to get into the chat there as well. Hey, there's another Robin. Hi, Robin. Sorry that I couldn't. I wasn't quite sure how to help you out on that last one. So I had to get some information between shows. So welcome. Oh, let's see. There it is, facebook.com, where you can click on that and get into the chat. And that's on, yay, that's okay. Okay, Logan is apparently having some wire issues. So what we are going to talk about, I'll just get us started here. We're going to talk about beliefs, superstitions, and synchronicities. And boy, have we got some stuff. Cultural superstitions, actually, is the topic that Logan brought up. And okay, he'll be back. Every culture has their superstitions, and I invite you as listeners to put any superstitions that you are aware of, either in your ethnic culture, around where you live, even just weird little sayings that we had. So just weird. Okay, so let me give you an example of something like that. Like if your nose itches, you're going to kiss a fool. Like that was something I grew up listening to. I don't know where it came from. My family said it all the time. Just some things like that are like silly superstitions, or, don't walk under a ladder, or you break a mirror and it's 7 years bad luck. Where did these come from? If you have like a superstition in your background, or you've heard things like that when, as you were getting to this point in your life, wherever that is, talk to us about that, because we will be able to. Logan, we can still hear you, even if we can't see you. Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah. Well, now we can't. I don't know where you went. He'll be back. He just has to get some wires straightened out there. So we're also going to be talking about synchronicities and, But Robin, is it your right palm or your left palm? She said, if your palm itches, you're coming into money. Pure crap. So that's an interesting one. I have found that actually to be true if it's my right palm, but if it's my left palm, I have not found that to be true. So that's kind of an interesting take on it too. Superstitions are just something that, like throw salt over your shoulder. I guess that's supposed to be, I don't know, if you spill something, I don't remember what that is. But these have been fun. And I have kind of a varied ethnic background. So with my kind of varied ethnic background, there are different parts of my background that he says he's back, kind of. Right now, I'm the only one on screen, but we'll get him back up there. So we have, I would just, again, I'd like you to share your superstitions. And if you spill something, then you throw salt over your shoulder. Anybody know where that came from? I just think it's so weird. Like, what does salt have to do with it? But then there's also, putting salt around your windowsills to keep spirits out. Your mom also said it's bad luck to put a loaf of bread upside down. That's interesting. I'd not heard that one before. Oh, Logan says he knows where the salt thing came from, and he's going to share that with us. Okay, you have audio, Logan, if you want to share.
Hey, I'm back. Awesome. Okay, so the bread thing was very important in the early days of humans. For example, society had to be structured around when the bakers could work. There's actually old laws that were discovered recently in long dead civilizations where, say, if you made 3 bad loaves of bread, if you sold them in a month, then you were dragged through the streets with the bad loaf hung around your neck and publicly shamed, and were never allowed to practice baking again. So there's a lot of early superstition around bread because it's a huge part of our diet.
Right. Wow.
The salt thing is much the same. There's an old rumor that Roman soldiers were paid in salt. There's no actual evidence of that, but salt was a very heavy trade commodity in the day. It was sort of the unofficial currency of the day.
Wow.
So
Logan's the historian here.
Yeah, if you can't tell, I'm a bit of a history buff.
Yeah, he sure is. I love it. So that's where that salt thing came from.
Yes, salt is, much like bread, is considered very important to a lot of cultures because it's so heavily involved in the diet, in the production of useful goods, stuff like that.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. So what did you think about, Logan, I just want to run this fast. If your palm itches, you're coming into money. Robin says pure crap. What do you think?
My question is, which palm?
Yeah, that's exactly it. If my right palm itches, money's coming. It might only be $5, but it's money. And
that is the general superstition. Yeah. And if your left palm itches, you're about to lose money.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
Well, here's another one.
Okay.
If you were to get flowers for someone, what color would you get?
It depends on who they are.
It does. It does depend on who they are.
Yeah.
But what color don't you want them to get?
Black?
Well, there's few flowers that will actually bloom black.
Yeah, there are some of the nightshades, right? They bloom black.
I just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I did it 3 times last show.
Here we go. Nope, there it goes again. What were we just talking about?
Flowers, colors.
Flowers, right. Apparently yellow flowers are considered a taboo in many cultures.
Oh, really?
Yes. In a lot of Eastern European cultures, it's associated with adultery.
Really?
So, they're either... by giving someone flowers, you could potentially be saying, hey, I hope you get cheated on.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's real crazy. We as humans are a weird species.
We are. We are probably the weirdest species because we actually communicate these things with each other. Robin said, okay, my right palm was itching the other night and I never got anything, but I am left-handed.
Well, there could be something to that sinister switch, which in medieval times, being left-handed was referred to as being sinister because of the whole... Well, there was a whole weird taboo around left-handedness. So in a lot of Christian Catholic, and whatever else practicing cultures, it was considered shameful to be left-handed.
Okay.
And it was usually beaten out of you.
Yeah, I know. Well, like my brother, my older brother was born left-handed, and they made him learn how to write right-handed in school. And I hope that they've stopped that craziness by now, but
Yeah, unless you're in like a religion-owned school, like a Catholic school or whatever,
right.
it's usually not, and even then, it's usually not that big of a deal because most people are at least somewhat educated these days and
Yeah.
realize that it's just a flip of the coin neurologically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that too. And also, Robin, it doesn't mean right away. You know,
Yeah,
I've had,
no, it could be weeks down the line.
yeah, it doesn't mean that you're going to get it right when it happens. I mean, if I find money, okay. She said that's why that explains why my teacher in school kept trying to change my writing hand. Yeah, it's just something that they used to do. It's weird. It's not very smart, but it's just something that they used to do, you know, make everybody conform.
And in some places, they still do it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they do.
Another bit of superstition that I found fascinating is the superstitions that arose from globalization of sports.
Okay. This
So,
sounds
like,
interesting.
Well, like I've been dragged along to a few places where someone was watching sports, and I've noticed a lot of very strange practices. And I was actually listening to a podcast recently that was talking about the same thing. And
Okay.
one of the guys was talking about how he was watching the game and his friend went to like lay down on the ottoman to try and stretch his back. And then the team that they were rooting for that was losing all games suddenly scored points.
I see where you're going.
And he looked at his friend. He's like, "You're not moving for the rest of this game." And apparently they ended up winning. So like that sort of correlation can definitely reinforce superstitions.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have heard a lot of that in some of the game day parties that I've gone to, and you know, somebody walks out of the room and their team gets a touchdown, then all of a sudden they're like, "You can't be in the room anymore."
No, sorry, you just got uninvited.
You just got uninvited. Yes, you did. You're out of here, buddy. Go.
But I also have a few similar sort of superstitions based on D&D.
Okay.
Like, I have whole sets of dice that I will never touch again because they have failed me so spectacularly. I have an entire box just with dice jail Sharpied on it.
Wow.
It's where I send all the dice that have failed me.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. You do? That's funny. Oh my gosh.
Because like the whole correlation thing, I have experienced correlation between a quote unquote cursed dice set and infecting another set by proximity.
Okay.
So it's dumb, and consciously I know it's dumb, but I still do it because it's working.
Okay. Lisa is laughing at you, by the way. She's
I see that, yes.
Okay. Again, hey, Lisa, do you have any cultural superstitions living in the Northwoods? I know I grew up there and there were some of those, but yeah.
There's a lot of common ones that we all know, like step on a crack, break your mother's back, or don't split the pole, or stuff like that.
Don't split the pole?
Don't split the pole is where you're walking as a group, any group larger than one, and you go the same direction around an obstacle that is taller than the shortest member.
Okay, that's a new one on me. I love that you said, though, any group larger than one, because I can kind of be my own group.
Right. If I'm distracted enough, I am my own group.
Lisa said to sage your dice, by the way.
Sage my dice. Yes, I'm saving up enough bad dice sets to necessitate a saging. Because sage is, I don't know if you know this, but sage is actually becoming an endangered plant.
Is it really?
It is.
Wow.
Because so many people are buying it for for smudging purposes.
Okay.
And like, there's a lot of people who will just go out and mow down an entire patch of sage to make a buck.
Wow.
So it's very important that you're getting your sage from the right place.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely locally sourced.
How about this one? Bird poop brings good luck.
I had not heard that one before.
I've heard that one a lot, but mainly because I've spent so much time around like people of a nautical culture.
Okay.
And that's where it came from. Because if you were close enough to land to be pooped on by a bird,
wow.
In the days of sailing, you could be out to sea for months on end and get totally lost. But you get pooped on by a bird, and suddenly it's like, hey, this is great.
There's land around here,
which means there's land.
Robin wants to know how she can plant her own sage. What do you know about that?
That is an excellent question. That would be something to ask a botanist.
Yeah.
Which, unfortunately, I am not.
Yeah.
You can use anything to cleanse, like mint or rosemary. Yes, I understand that, but certain cultures have a certain connotation toward various herbs.
Right.
So, like, mint is for one thing or one season. Sage is for another thing or another season.
Right.
Or even reasons.
Okay. I know some cultures also use like tobacco leaf.
Yes, tobacco leaf is a big one, especially in North America.
And sweetgrass.
Yeah. I actually have a bundle of sweetgrass next to me.
It's probably a good idea considering what we're talking about.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't have any salt though, so I think I'm SOL there.
Oh, I have black salt.
That's not going to help me from there.
Yeah, that's true. We do live almost 2 hours apart. Oh, yeah.
That'd be one hell of a throw if you could throw salt over your shoulder and also make it over mine.
Right. Here's another one that Robin's family uses, knock on wood for good luck. I have heard of that one.
I actually have some history on this one.
Awesome. Let's hear it.
Well, knock on wood comes from a lot of different cultures who consider trees to be understandably a very important thing.
Right.
It's often considered that trees also house spirits of a friendly or at worst mischievous nature.
Okay.
And the whole knock on wood thing originates from I guess sort of a child's game from Western Europe.
Okay.
Called Tiggy Touchwood. And even to this day, like there's a large portion of the European continent that still says touch wood instead of knock on wood because it comes from that.
Okay.
And the whole thing of touching wood being to appease the spirit within so that misfortune does not come to you.
I like that. I mean, especially being an earth sign, and I'm always in the woods if I can get there. So
right.
Yeah, I like that. That's why I like these, apparently. That makes sense.
It's these little idiosyncrasies that make this stuff so fascinating.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I do it intending to honor the spirit of the wood. That is also good.
Yeah, that's another.
That's another good way to make sure misfortune doesn't come to you.
Yeah, we want to keep those dryads happy.
No kidding.
Yeah, an unhappy
I've seen
dryad
plants grow through concrete. I'm not looking for that.
No. I'm right there with you. She wants to know if you have any details. Robin McBride wants to know if you have any details on this one. Don't walk under a ladder.
Honestly, that's just a safety thing.
That's what I always figured too. But I have heard since I was a little kid, don't walk under a ladder. It's bad luck. Well, probably because somebody can fall on you. But
There is that, but it's also part of the superstition of not leaving doors open.
okay, continue.
And so when a ladder is, propped out and active, it typically forms something that looks like a passageway. In a lot of cultures, they're like, nah, the spirits are convinced that's a doorway too, so don't go through that.
Okay. All right. So Lisa also said of the tree that gave its life for whatever it was turned into. So that's why we also knock on wood too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wish I had more positive sound bites to play off my soundboard. But yes, absolutely.
We're not going to do a repeat, are we?
No. I do have some new ones, though.
We might get to those. Robin McBride says that her dad always said that it symbolizes the gallows and death walking under a ladder.
That could also be. Because a lot of improvised hangings took place from either a stool or a ladder and suspended from a tree.
Right. Oof.
It's a bad time.
Yes, it is. Very bad time. Oh my goodness. I had a whole bunch of them in my head and then they all flew away. I don't know what the deal is with that. I know that with some of the Native American groups that you're not supposed to point at an eagle. Do you know anything about that?
I believe that's about attracting attention to yourself.
Okay.
Which also leans into another superstition of don't whistle at night.
Right, because you don't want to be attacked if people hear you whistling.
Or if something else hears you whistling.
Oh, that's true. I tend to think that humans are the scariest thing on the planet, but that isn't always true.
Typically, yeah. I mean, when we were all brutalizing each other for a living, it was a lot easier to go, oh, well, everything else could easily have a worse intention than us. We can't be that bad.
Right. Well, I think everything everything that could have a worse intention than us is probably just hungry.
Yeah. Either that or they left.
Yeah. Right.
Or haven't gotten here yet. One of the two.
Yeah, there could be that too. They say not to whistle in your home because you are calling spirits. Huh.
That is another superstition that obviously they come from very diametrically opposed cultures. At least in that sense.
Right. And
Lisa says, particularly in Appalachia and Native cultures, definitely no whistling at night.
There's a good reason for that. I don't know if that's superstitious or common sense.
Well, it's a lot of superstitions are a bit of both.
Yeah, that's true.
For example, there was a study on a captive colony of chimpanzees studying the development of superstitions. There was a ladder in the middle of the room that was the only way to reach a suspended bit of food. Every time they climbed the ladder, someone hit a button, and the sprinklers went off in the ceiling, and everyone started freaking out. So eventually they learned, we don't climb that ladder. But then they started introducing new monkeys and taking old ones out to the point where it was about half and half new and old. And when one of them would try to climb the ladder, another one of the older ones would stop and be like, no, don't do that. And eventually all of the original chimpanzees were swapped out, and it was only new ones that had never been sprayed with water. And whenever a new one was introduced to the group and tried to climb that ladder, they were stopped because they just had this understanding of, we don't do that.
Huh. Interesting. Conditioning for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really a lot of what superstitions are, is cultural conditioning based on correlation.
Right. Oh yeah, bad things happen in threes. That's another one.
Yes.
And you know what? That one kind of seems to hold true. I mean, like if we're looking at celebrities, if one goes, there's going to be two more, and it usually happens pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's also part of the third time's a charm thing.
Oh, there's that one too. Yeah.
Because misfortune does come in threes. That does seem to hold up. But third time's a charm. I don't know.
You can tell my family is very superstitious. Yeah, Robin. Robin, the other Robin.
The other Robin.
That one seems to happen to me a lot. Do you mean the third time's a charm, or the bad things happen in threes? Which one are you referring to? Yeah, I was trying to think, like my grandparents had a whole bunch of them, and I'm trying to remember what they were. Of course, they were like half in Swedish or half in German. So right. She said yes, as in both, I'm assuming. So third one's a charm. Oh, I like that one. Okay. Yeah.
It's basically saying we can't fail 3 times.
Right. I am living proof that we can indeed fail 3 times and more. So
likewise.
But every failure is a step to success. So we have that.
Absolutely.
I was trying to think of, there was one that my grandmother used to say all the time, and it's like right there, and I can't quite grasp it. I don't know. Fill air with something else, and I'll think of it. It'll come to me. There's something.
It really is amazing how superstitions develop.
Yeah.
Some of them by happenstance, some of them deliberately, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that I really feel that the latter one is really just common sense and safety.
Yeah, I think so too.
But there's a lot of things that correlate to various other things, which also leans into synchronicity.
Okay, continue.
The correlation of 2 things through time and space.
I'm with you. Keep going.
So, like, the whole thing about correlation is not causation. Okay. Is that yes? There's a lot going on in this big mysterious universe, and a lot of it is going to be similar. There's really no way around that. In a universe of infinites, everything is bound to happen an infinite amount of times.
Good point.
It just doesn't all happen at once or in the same place.
No, that makes sense. I mean, if everything technically, yeah, I guess some people say everything is happening at once, but if our perception was that everything is happening at once, I think our little brains would be just melted down. We wouldn't be able to handle that. Yeah,
we would not be able to handle it. We would need to be like a being of energy to maintain that kind of perception. Right.
Exactly. There were so many that I heard growing up, and now it's like, boom, they're all gone. Like my brain just went empty. You know what? Let's take a break, and hopefully something will come back while we're watching a commercial here.
That's about that time.
Yeah.
Ellie Weisensel's psychic medium is a medical intuitive that specializes as a body code practitioner. As an energy healer, Ellie offers additional services that allow her modalities to be intertwined with energetic healing. Within your subconscious lies information that knows everything about you and why you deal with specific conditions. The subconscious can be considered the blueprint to your entire body. With Ellie working physically with your subconscious mind, we detect what negative emotions are trapped and where they are stored within the body that is causing you your emotional and physical pain. This work is designed to remove imbalances and correct them energetically. getting to the root cause of why you have your condition to help balance your body so it may heal itself. Your body is infinitely wise and wants to be in balance. The body code is not only gentle for humans, but it is also a gentle process to help animals. For more information, contact Ellie Weisensell at the website below.
Hey everybody, it is 30 minutes past the hour. You are listening to the Paranormal Room on WLTK-DB, Let's Talk Radio. I am here with my co-host, Logan Jacobson, and we are talking about beliefs, cultural superstitions, and synchronicities. And I want to welcome Tristan, who's a little late to the party because it's Halloween. That's his day. Halloween is Tristan and Ashley's day. Like, they live all
Likewise.
They live all year for this. Yes, I know. I've been celebrating Halloween all month.
And you know what? Honestly, thanks to what was that movie? It's how can I possibly forget Nightmare Before Christmas?
I don't know. I don't know.
But thanks to that movie, spooky season continues all the way through the winter. I will fight somebody about that.
I love that. Tristan, we are dead, LOL. I'm loving it. Okay, so before we went to break, Lisa said 3 seems important in so many ways. And you know, that's right. It does seem like 3, it seems to be, they say 7's a magic number, but I think it's 3.
Honestly, that's another thing leaning towards synchronicity is there's a lot of common numbers in a lot of cultures that are very sacred. 4, 7, and 3 pop up a lot.
A lot, yes. And happy Halloween, Tristan, and blessed Samhain.
Yes, happy Halloween, blessed Samhain, and a very spooky time.
Loving it.
Speaking of spookiness.
Yes, tell us about it.
I have an idea. For those of you who don't know, I run a gaming channel on YouTube, Turtle Island Gaming. And recently, on my trip to New York, I met some fabulous individuals who I think would be great pieces of horror fodder for a video I had in mind. We all get a ghost hunting game called Phasmophobia. Some of you may know it. It's an actual ghost hunting game, but it can also be played in virtual reality. I think it would be a fantastic time for all of us, and it could be a very entertaining thing to witness from the outside. So if you're listening and you have a gaming computer capable of running Phasmophobia, and if you're interested in joining, please shoot us a link however you can.
Yeah, you can shoot us a link actually on our Gmail account, which is wltkdbParanormalRoom@gmail.com. And Logan, you're talking about making this like one of the episodes, right?
Yes, it could be the live version could be an episode of this, and then I would edit the juicy bits out and put them on my YouTube channel.
Okay, the juicy bits. I love that. All right. Logan's camera's jacked up.
My camera is full on foobar. Looking into it.
Yeah, he had it at the beginning, and then about 5 minutes in, it went. So,
I think it was because I had to charge it. I had to charge my headset, and when I plugged in the charger, my camera was like, "Nope, I'm done. I'm not working with this guy."
Okay. Of course it is. Just like my computer and my printer stopped speaking as soon as I moved into a new office.
Well, send him to therapy. We got to get stuff done.
I know, right? Yeah. All right. So when Lisa brought up the number 3, that brought something back to me. How 13 is an unlucky number for a lot of people.
Yes.
For me, it's a lucky number. I mean, my
Same.
dad was born on the 13th. My grandfather was born on the 13th. And I actually stayed up all night on the 12th to launch my first website on July 13th.
I found $100 on the 13th.
I know, isn't that great? It's so funny because I mean they're superstitions, and they only have power because we believe in them. So I totally shifted that. I totally shifted that and went 13 is my lucky number. I just decided.
I don't think I decided it. It just kind of happened like that.
Probably because you grew up with me.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Tristan and Robin Cribbs both said 13 has always been a good number for them too. 3 and 13. Yeah.
13 Club.
All right. Love it. By the way, Tristan, since you're just joining us, if you have any superstitions from, down south that we could enjoy hearing about, that would be great. Or beliefs or synchronicities. I know synchronicities. Wow. I see them all the time. And I can think about something and then I will see it. And let's just say a type of car or a color of car. Like I seem to notice them clumped together. Like even at stoplights or driving.
Exactly.
And I actually pulled into a hotel last week in Erie, Pennsylvania on my way back from New York. And I had reservations to spend the night there. So I pull in and I saw the hotel on my right. But on the left, I saw every car in that row was white. Every one in a hotel parking lot. And I'm like, wait, is this a car dealership? Where am I?
That could be synchronicity. It could just be a cult.
I don't know, man. It could be, I suppose. That's the same place though where I parked next to a different black vehicle and I drive a black vehicle. And when I got out, I saw a skeleton in the back seat of the other car.
I think you sent me that picture. Yeah.
I did. Because first I yelped a little bit and then like kind of and then I took a picture and I was just laughing hysterically. Yeah. Robin says when you buy a new car, you see so many of that same kind of car on the road. I know. I see them everywhere.
I didn't know that bled over into real life because I've never bought a new car. But I have played Grand Theft Auto quite a bit. And in that game, when the joke is whenever you steal a car, suddenly that car that you're driving, you see it everywhere.
Yeah, it does transfer into real life, and it's not just new cars. I mean, you buy a used car, or you look at a car that you really like, and then you see them everywhere, or you see that color of car everywhere.
Yes,
it happens a lot.
On the subject of synchronicity, I remembered one of the biggest bits of synchronicity in our history.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the Fibonacci sequence and the spiral that it generates and how that correlates into the golden ratio and conch shells.
Continue.
Like the spiral of a conch shell very closely mimics that Fibonacci spiral, which I'm not a fan of the Da Vinci Code. I want to say that right now. But one of the few things that it turned me to being interested in was that correlation between the Fibonacci spiral and so many other things.
Okay, I can see that. There's spirals. I mean, everything in nature is round, right? Trees, grass.
Not everything.
Not everything, but a lot of things. A lot of things are round.
I think bismuth might have something to say about being round.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Same with salt crystals.
Salt crystals are not round?
No.
Really?
Not even on a microscopic scale. I'm sorry, Tristan. I'm sorry, but I could not take that movie seriously. And I did not have the patience for the book.
Yeah, the book was pretty extensive. It's the Fibonacci. I didn't really know much about that. I've been kind of focusing on other things, but yeah, that's interesting. With the spirals. Spirals are so important, especially in codes. I mean, like if you're looking at, excuse me, sorry, like the Celtic, like almost all of their artwork is spiraled.
Yeah, a lot of the Celtic knotwork as well.
Yeah, and a lot of the different native cultures or indigenous cultures have spirals as well in their artwork. And the spiral, I think, is, I don't know, it seems important, and I feel like I should know why, and I probably do, and I just can't access that information right now. Um, but it seems like spirals are really important.
Well, it also occurs on a microscopic and non-visual scale.
Yeah, DNA spiral.
Well, the spiral of the DNA helix, the spiral of the chemical signals that an amoeba puts out to other amoeba when there's no more food.
How do you even know that? I'm sorry. How do you even?
I am a very unemployed and bored nerd. That is how I know that.
You know some of the neatest stuff. Like I never would have known that, but that is some cool information.
But no, it's part of how cells communicate with each other in a version other than electricity.
Okay.
A chemical signal is also very reliable, especially in a localized area.
Okay. That makes
sense. But when all of the amoeba in an area start sending out the same signal, it synchronizes and forms these super intricate, never-ending spiral patterns that are just gorgeous.
Okay. Send me a link. I want to see that.
Absolutely, yeah. It's going to be by Zefrank on YouTube, the guy who does the Morgan Freeman impression.
Oh, okay. Now I know who you're talking about. Yeah, now I know who you're talking about. Yeah, the guy who does that. Oh my gosh, excuse me. Been a long day. Yeah, Robin wants it too.
Okay, I'll post it in the chat then.
Okay, that would be great. There was something else that just came into my rabbit's feet. How are rabbit's feet lucky?
You know, that's something I gotta wonder myself. I think it's because they're quick and nimble.
Well, they obviously weren't quick and nimble enough.
Right. Well, you know, there's only so much you can do when a big-brained hairless monkey decides to explosively lob a hunk of iron in your direction.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Tristan said, yeah, we all need that information. And Robin,
all right, I posted it in the private chat. I am unable to post in the actual comments.
That's okay. After the show is done, you can go onto the WLTK-DB Talk Radio page and post it in those comments.
Okay. Well, I did post it in the private chat if we're able to transfer that over to public somehow.
Okay. Well, I can't either because I can't get in the chat either, but that's okay.
I was more, yeah. Thanks, Todd.
Todd did it for you. Thanks, Todd.
Look, like I was about to say, I'm looking at you, Todd.
He's got it in all three places. Excellent. Thank you, Todd. Yeah, it was the rabbit's feet thing. I've always wondered about that because it certainly was not lucky for the rabbit.
Absolutely. It just seems like the most oxymoronic thing that was just born from capitalism, but I could be wrong on that.
I have no idea. You know, find a penny, pick it up all the day, you'll have good luck, but only if it's heads up, right?
Right. If it's tails up, it's mooning you, apparently.
Okay, good to know. Are those rabbit feet when real, though? I don't know.
I think there might have been a typo there, but I do think that they are definitely real. Having had a rabbit as a pet, not really myself, but someone I was dating.
Okay. Weird. I mean, yeah, I guess somebody could be making fake rabbit's feet to sell commercially. Which I
honestly hope that is the case.
I do too.
Like, as tasty as rabbits are, I don't want them being hunted just for their feet.
Yeah.
Like,
and no.
Like Bigfoot.
Like, not tasty. No. I don't know. They're starting to come back a little bit, like all these weird sayings, you know. I don't know if you remember, CJ was a baby, so you were probably about 7 or 8. And I had this friend who would reach into her purse when we were walking through parking lots, and she would pull out a handful of change and toss it over her shoulder and yell, "Change the world."
I do remember her.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, that is kind of cool. I hope you don't hit anybody.
Tristan, I agree. Rabbits are good fried up.
Yuck. Gross.
But yeah, Mom has a bit of a different opinion on rabbit considering her childhood, which I understand.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of there are so many weird things that we do. And I think it just gets kind of passed down generation to generation, and we don't really think about them.
Well, here's one. Which direction do you walk around the fire?
I walk around sunwise, clockwise.
Clockwise. There we go.
Yeah, which is also
counterclockwise is not okay.
Definitely, especially during ceremony, not okay.
Yeah, no, during sweat lodges, ceremonies, nah.
Yeah. But why is that? Is that just like an honoring of the earth where you're going in the same direction as the sun?
It is an honoring of the earth in that you are mimicking the path of the earth around the sun.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. So that's where that one came from. Robin says both. So I think
that's a quick way to get yourself kicked out of a sweat lodge.
that's true. But if you don't go to sweat
experience.
lodge, if you don't go to sweat lodge, you're good.
True.
Yeah. I was trying to think, what is that other thing? Oh, shoot. I don't remember. Well, I know there's stuff, like wedding rings are worn on the left hand because the third finger, or the third finger, I think it is on the left hand, has the artery that goes right to the heart or something.
That is the convention. Here's another one. A wedding ring should cost how much?
It was a ridiculous amount, like 20%.
It's like 2 months' salary.
That's nuts. Sorry.
Yeah. But part of that superstition was born from if the guy runs off, she still has the ring to be able to sell it and make some losses back.
I suppose that makes sense.
But yeah, that's and that was something that was created through capitalism as well. That was created by the jewelers.
Oh, I figured it was created by jewelers because they want
more money. Of course, it's a very intricate craft, and I'm not knocking jewelers at all.
Right. I mean, making those tiny little things that's gonna be hard to do. I mean, I certainly don't have the dexterity for it.
I don't think I'd even be able to see the cut I was making.
Well, that's why they have those glasses that like And Robin says, what if the woman runs off?
You got to remember, this is when women weren't really allowed to work or vote or anything.
Yeah,
that's where that comes from. So the man can just make more money. Nobody gives a shit about the man.
Yeah, I suppose. Interesting.
It's why even today, if there's a domestic dispute and the guy calls and he's just like, oh, she's beating me up, half the time they're just going to laugh him off the phone.
Which is sad.
It's very sad.
That shouldn't be happening.
Tristan says, like, all this candy I gave out tonight, totally capitalism from the candy companies, but love doing it. And you know what? That is something different. That's something that enriches the community. It encourages personal interaction.
Uh-huh.
And it also the candy companies and the costume companies and whoever else wants to capitalize it can get their slice.
Right. Well, same with Christmas, but with gifts and whatever. But I just want to tell you, if you guys are friends with Tristan, like, go to his Facebook page and watch the video of him and Ashley handing out candy. It's adorable. I'm
going to have to check that out. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I actually got some candy on my walk.
Oh, did you?
I did. Well, because like trick-or-treating around here only goes from 5 to 7:30.
Uh-huh.
Partly for child safety, partly so all the adults can get to their drunken Halloween parties.
Yeah, I suppose. There is, we have to take care of the drunken adults too. So
right, it's everyone's night of celebration, not just the kids. The kids get candy, the adults get adult candy.
Mm-hmm. There you go. I have to say, like, I don't have one decoration out this year, not one, but I have been celebrating this holiday all month because we had the the haunted house in
Yes.
South Colton, New York, and that was a blast. And then the
So
next
much
weekend,
fun.
it was so much fun. He made such a good ringmaster, you guys. Like he was cracking a whip until the whip actually broke.
Oh
So-
yeah, I still have the whip actually for most of it.
That was a lot of fun. And then the following weekend, I did the Dark Waters Paranormal Convention in Plattsburgh, New York. And then this weekend, I went to Eau Claire and went to a witch's ball for the first time.
I really wanted to be there for Paracon.
I know. I'm sorry. You'll go next year.
All right.
Next year. Yeah. So, that was just so much fun. I mean, like I said, I've been on the road all month, but I have been celebrating all month, and we don't even have our light on for trick-or-treaters.
Tristan, I am right there with you. If you went out for trick-or-treating before dark, you were bullied at school the next day.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Great. Okay, so here's a Halloween memory for you. Okay, so in Wisconsin, for those of you who don't live in cold climates, very often it is cold on Halloween. At least it used to be. So when I was about 12, and all the adults had decided 12 was the cutoff age, you don't go trick-or-treating anymore. So then I got to take the little kids around the neighborhood trick-or-treating. So I had to put on a costume, and I decided to be the Michelin Man. So I have all these pillows stuffed inside of a snowsuit, an adult-sized snowsuit. So I'm literally like, ooh, and then I had a snowmobile helmet on, and it had I don't know, it was crazy. So I'm like waddling around, and that was in the age of moon boots, by the way, for those old enough to remember those. And
the broken ankle makers.
Yes. So I'm waddling around with these other little kids with these little kids from the neighborhood, because then all the parents could stay at one of the houses and just, drink. So
Get sloshed, yeah, of course.
Yeah. So we're going along, and of course, it's like you have the road, and then there's little 2-foot ditches on the side of the side roads, not made of what is these moon boots you speak of?
Oh, Tristan.
We'll send you a picture, Tristan. So anyway, I fell
tell
into
the story after Chris is done.
I fell into one of those ditches on my back. So I'm like,
no.
I was like a bug on my back. I could not get up. And all these little tiny kids are trying to help me get up. And one of them finally runs back to the house where all the adults are and comes and gets the adults. So what do the adults do? They show up with cameras and laugh at me. I'm like, I don't like any of you. Nikki's first Halloween. Yep. Like that poor kid in the Christmas Story. Yeah, pretty much. Right. Robin says Nikki's first Halloween, we lived in Eastern Washington and it snowed. She had to wear a snowsuit over her costume. Well, we designed our parents designed costumes to go over snowsuits. Because
you have to in the Northwoods.
Yeah, it snowed so often on Christmas. Or I'm sorry, on Halloween. It snowed.
Yeah, I want to go trick-or-treating on Christmas.
I do too. Better stuff, man.
Oh wait, no, I've been reliably informed that's called caroling.
Oh, really? Oh, you have to sing for your treats. That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot. It did snow one time here in Kentucky. Oh, that's unusual, isn't it?
Get ready for it to snow a lot more often in Kentucky.
Why is that?
I'm sorry, how many times in the past 100 years has there been a frost emergency in Texas?
Or Florida. Yeah. Yep.
And it's happening more often, so get ready for it to happen more often.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I know sometimes it's there was one time, well, actually the year I was born, and we won't mention what that is, but it apparently snowed in Chicago that year in July.
Yeah. Weather does definitely do weird things in the Midwest.
It does. No wonder I'm a winter person.
Oh, yeah. Our weather is always jacked up here. Yeah, it's about to get more jacked up and more chaotic.
It is. Yeah.
Because that's what's been happening.
Absolutely, it has been. Yeah.
Every
that's been
storm that
crazy.
was a 5 is now a 7.
Yeah, lots of cool stuff going on. We're going to have some guests on to explain that to us one of these days. Like what is going on with the weather patterns. I mean, if I look at like, paranormal or the fact that everything is changing, yeah, I can see where the patterns are definitely getting crazy. I do believe that, my dude.
And that's a perfect time to reveal this new sound bit.
Yeah, science.
All right, then. See, this is what happens when we give Logan toys.
That's right. I use them.
All right, Tristan, last week we talked about tattoos. I think you and I need to go together and get dude tattoos. What do you think?
I will film that and put it on my channel. Mom gets a tattoo.
You would film your mom crying and put it on your YouTube channel.
I'm sorry, what about the internet are you unfamiliar with?
My kid's a brat. Just saying.
Not Tristan's with me.
Yeah. What? Get the tattoo or film me getting one?
Yes. The only correct answer, Tristan, is yes.
Oh my gosh. You guys are so funny. Oh man. Yeah, really seriously, one of these days we need to do a road trip to Kentucky.
Both, yes. And you know what? For fairness, I'll get a tattoo as well.
Yeah, but you like tattoos.
No, I don't. I have one tattoo.
That's true.
And I cried like a baby.
Wow. All right. Then you're into. Robin said all kids are at times because I called you a brat.
Yeah, well, at least I've learned more appropriate times to be a brat.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
Not middle of an AA meeting, not middle of a family gathering.
Yeah. Ashley has enough tattoos for all of us, to be honest.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and disagree. I want more tattoos.
Do you?
I do, yes, because I have a lot of ideas for decorations of this flesh mausoleum.
Flesh mausoleum. That's an interesting concept there.
I'd call it a prison, but I've died already, so.
Oh, we all have 1,000 times. Listen to my show before this one. Yeah, there used to be like a lot of superstition around tattoos too, didn't there? I mean,
but that's more a societal bias than a superstition.
Okay. It started out with sailors, though, didn't it?
Yeah, sailors would get tattoos from faraway lands as a token of where they've been, or sometimes they were provided in a ceremonial way. Honestly, I think all tattoos should be applied in a ceremonial fashion because you are inscribing essentially what are runes on your body.
Right.
And like I find it ironic that every time I see someone with a Dreamcatcher tattoo, and they're just like, "Oh my god, I just got this." Yeah, well, how is your life going lately? Because Dreamcatchers attract bad stuff.
That's their job. Yeah, is to catch the bad stuff so they don't end up in your dreams. Yeah, good point. Good point. Yeah, or people who get stuff in other languages and don't really know what it means.
Right.
Get tattoos in other languages that don't really know what that means.
I see your tattoo says puppy kicker.
Tristan says, I would like some protective symbol tattoos. Just don't know what it would be. You know what? I made good friends with some tattoo artists recently. They were at the Paranormal conference doing tattoos at the conference.
Oh, now I really wish I would have gone.
Oh, that's okay. They'll be back next year.
Okay.
But I think we should have them on and have them talk about some of this stuff. I think that would be fascinating.
Absolutely. And
yeah.
As far as protective symbol tattoos, do look into your like family lineage, because sometimes that does come into play if you lean more towards, say, like a Viking lineage than, say, an Italian lineage or whatever.
Right.
And also Viking runes are they've all pretty much been deciphered. It's a fairly simple alphabet and a fairly easy language to understand.
Okay.
So you won't have to learn an alphabet, or since a lot of people get the Chinese tattoos, like a syllabary of over 300 symbols.
Yeah. That would be a lot.
I'm sorry. It must suck to be a Sesame Street character in China.
I'm sure.
Doing the ABCs, by like Monday, you're Xing Chao Su Su. Thursday.
Okay, enough silliness. All right, we have actually come to the end of our hour, and I really want to thank you guys. Oh, Robin says, what if you don't know what your lineage is?
Then
Ooh.
Go with what you understand.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand it, do some research until you do.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I definitely don't inscribe your body with something you don't know what it is.
Yeah, I would. That's why I have never really even gotten a tattoo. I mean, it's like I've always said it's because I'm afraid of needles. That's not actually the case. It's because I have commitment issues where tattoos are concerned. I don't want to put something on my body and 5 years later not like it. You know?
Right.
So, all right. But you know what? We are at the end of our hour, and I just really want to thank all of you guys for coming and playing along. It's been a lot of fun. And Logan, thank you for your vast knowledge, because I don't know, you have a lot more time to study than I do, apparently.
Well, it's not like I've ever been paid to do research or anything.
Oh, no, not that. No. Oh, yeah, that's right. I've paid you to do research. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you. Logan, what are we doing next week? Do you know?
Ooh, you know what? I think I'm going to leave it a surprise, or I
right.
might leave it up to the audience.
Oh, yeah. What do you guys want us to talk about next week? There we go. Put it on. Just put it in the comments on this after this is posted to Facebook. Go ahead and put your comments in there as to what you would like us to talk about next week on in the Paranormal Room. And I want to thank you all for being here. Logan, thank you. Thank you for your knowledge and your wisdom. And Todd, thank you for your patience, because we're running over again. So everybody, have a great week, and we will see you all next week.
Yes, happy Halloween, and sorry
Yes.
about my lack of face.
All right. Good night, everyone. I'm going to bed, Tristan. I think that should be the quote for your life there, Tristan.
Sorry about my face. Oh, wait, no. Fun show.
Fun show. All right, you guys. Have a great night, and we will see you next week in the Paranormal Room.
Bye.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.